This is the Southside School of Financial Freedom Market Report and Small Account Update for the week ending September 28th, 2024. The market finished higher this week. The Dow Jones Industrial Average increased 0.33% on Friday and was up 0.59% for the week. The S&P 500 decreased minus 0.13% on Friday but was up 0.62% for the week. The Nasdaq decreased minus 0.39% on Friday but was up 0.95% for the week. Looking at the week, we can see that there were 11 up finishes versus 4 down finishes for the major indexes. On Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, all the major indexes finished up. On Wednesday, the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500 finished down, while the Nasdaq finished up. And on Friday, it was the Dow Jones Industrial Average that finished up, while the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq finished down. How did you do? My small account finished 7.46% higher and generated cash flow of 1.66%. Even when the market falls and or my account doesn't do well, I still get income or cash flow by selling covered calls and naked puts. This method does not only guarantee cash flow or income, it can also beat the S&P 500. I have a watch list to determine which options of stocks that I want to sell. A stock has to meet 5 criteria to be put on my trading watch list. I will not reveal what my criteria are, but if you examine my list, you may be able to figure out the criteria for yourself. The last row, however, is my benchmark row. That is, I measure my performance against gold, silver, and the S&P 500. Looking at my watch list from the week, the strongest performer on the list was Cipher Mining Incorporated, ticker symbol CIFR in the third column. It was down minus 0.72% on Friday, but increased 41.72% for the week. Cipher Mining Incorporated operates 4 Bitcoin mining data centers in Texas. They are developing an additional data mining system in Winkler County, Texas, which would be their 5th Bitcoin mining center. The development news about the new Bitcoin mining center seems to have pumped the share price higher this week. Looking at a summary of results, you can see that Cipher has been about flat year to date. I generated cash flow from Cipher recently. I generated cash flow from selling 4 different option contracts, 3 calls and 1 put. That ranged from $5.34 to $27.34. So it was on Tuesday, I sold 2 calls, one for $12.34 and one for $16.34. And it wasn't until Friday when I sold a call for $5.34 and a put for $27.34. That's a total of only $61.36. And that is not a lot of money, but the account is small. $61.36 in cash flow was 1.66% of my account value. With this system, the cash flow money is free and clear. You can take it out of your account and spend it or leave it in to build your cash balance and or invest it. If you want to increase the amount of cash flow, you just have to use a larger account. So for example, to 10x the cash flow this week to $613.60, I would have to use a larger account, and instead of selling one of everything that I sold, I would have to sell 10. This strategy is guaranteed to produce cash flow immediately and every week that it is applied. However, it does not guarantee the amount of cash flow from week to week, nor the value of your account. The amount varies and the account value varies. Despite the variations in amount and value, the goal is to generate cash flow and beat the S&P 500. Please note that most professional money managers and their strategies do not consistently beat the S&P 500 every year. They usually lose, and they lose by a lot. Last year, this method beat the S&P 500 by almost 12%. However, in 2024, my account is down minus 16.75% versus 20.23% up for SPY, which is an S&P 500 ETF. That's a difference of 36.98%. So I am losing to the S&P 500 by almost 37%. It is not unusual to beat the S&P 500 one year and then lose to the index the next year. which is what I am doing in 2024. I am still trailing SPY by a lot. Do you think it's time to throw in the towel on the cash flow system beating SP 500 this year? Or will the system rebound hard for the rest of the year? Tune in next week to find out what happens. Bitcoin Watch. Bitcoin gained 4.44% this past week, and it is down minus 10.66% from its all time high. It is up just over 57% year to date. Some people believe that Bitcoin is the most transformative financial asset in 1,000 years. I think the best course of action is to dollar cost average, that is DCA, into the SP 500 and DCA into Bitcoin at a 30 to 70% ratio for the next 10 years and or up to when you have invested at least $10,000. I have implemented a similar strategy where I have a portfolio that is about 85% in a Bitcoin ETF. After 15 weeks, it is up 5.72%. The SP 500 SPY is up 5.29%, and the cash flow system is down minus 3.8% in those 15 weeks. What do you think? What is your strategy? Do you know how to produce cash flow every week and beat the S&P 500? Do you invest in Bitcoin, which may prove to be the smartest investment of the decade? As you develop, analyze, implement your strategy, please check back to see how my small account and my Bitcoin dominant account performs against the S&P 500 from week to week by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Thank you.